Morning San Antonio starts right now.
A stray bullet hits a teenager while he was driving on San Antonio's east side. Up next, his condition this morning and what police are saying about suspects.
President Biden urging U.S. and world leaders to continue supporting Ukraine's fight against Russia as many Republicans now voice opposition, and Ukraine's president preps for a visit to Washington tomorrow. I'm ABC's Justin Finch with the details ahead.
And looking out there with live cam, we are still in the mid-70s this morning. Not too bad, but yes, we're going to warm up once again this afternoon.
And good morning to you. It is Wednesday. It is September 20th. I got to be honest, I had just come out of summer hibernation, and now I'm right back in my show.
Yes, I mean, it's kind of like our second summer is what we were talking about yesterday.
We have a light out or something here. Did you notice that?
Oh, it was a tan. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Yeah, there's something going on right here. There.
Good morning.
Now she's glowing.
Good morning. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good
Okay.
morning.
Mike, join the circus here. See how things are going. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it's just, yeah.
You want to come back and talk later?
Yeah, probably in a few weeks when we get a front actually moving through here. A summer's grip is just, I mean, it's like, just squeezing in there. And yeah, it's kind of the hibernation. You got to, hunker down inside now with the air conditioning on because temperatures are so going to be so high too. Did it feel better this morning when you walked outside?
Slightly.
I mean, number-wise, it's almost the same as yesterday, but maybe it was because, I don't know.
Yeah, and even yesterday, actually in the afternoon, even though it was hot, it was slightly more comfortable.
Whoops, I just kicked myself. Anyway, yeah, that's because the humidity will drop down this afternoon like it did somewhat yesterday. But this morning we got the clear skies out there, almost identical start to yesterday. 76 here in town, low 70s in the hill country. Rio Medina is the cool spot, if you will, at 68 degrees. Dew point temperatures are about what they were yesterday. Remember a couple of days ago, it was really nice on Monday when we had that drier air, and then it kind of came back up. But again, number-wise, it's almost the same as yesterday. I don't know, it just kind of felt a little bit better walking outside this morning. Mold is on the high side. It actually went up yesterday from the previous day's reading. Ragweed is low. The updated count obviously later on this morning. Another green day for energy conservation with CPS. You can scan the QR code, find out more tips and tricks. 90 at noon. Normal high temperature is 89. Yeah, and then we're going to top off at 97. So once again, still averaging 5-10 degrees above respective normals, and we're going to stay there at 97 through the rest of summer. And actually to kick off the first day of fall is going to be 97 degrees. We'll talk about that front. Yeah, it's going to kind of linger in the area, not really come in here with gangbusters. We'll get all that sorted out in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Thank you, Mike. This morning, a teen is in the hospital after police say he was hit by a stray bullet. So, according to San Antonio Police, it happened just before 9 p.m. in the 200 block of Bundy Street. Now, police at the scene tell us that a 19-year-old man was driving somewhere between Bellinger and Paris when a stray bullet hit him. He was taken to the hospital in stable condition, and no suspect information was given. Investigators are also working to locate an exact crime scene.
It's been 3 years since the murder of a San Antonio teenager. 17-year-old Sebastian Carpio was killed back in 2020. And since then, San Antonio police have arrested 2 people, but they think there are more suspects. The teen's body was found burned in a stolen car. If you know anything about Sebastian's death, call Crime Stoppers. If your information leads to someone getting arrested, you could be eligible for up to $5,000. Now to the war in Ukraine. President Biden and Ukraine's President Zelensky are urging the U.S. and allied nations to continue backing Kyiv's fight against Russia at the United Nations General Assembly.
The leaders warn that if military and financial assistance runs out, Moscow will wage wars on other independent nations next. ABC's Justin Finch has more from Washington.
President Joe Biden on the world stage, encouraging United Nations General Assembly members to keep standing with Ukraine in its near 2-year fight against Russia.
Russia believes that the world will grow weary and allow it to brutalize Ukraine without consequence.
Ukraine's President Zelensky echoing Biden, warning the world against folding to war fatigue.
The goal of the present war against Ukraine is to turn our land, our people, our lives, our resources into a weapon against you, against the international rules-based order.
Zelensky now set for a return visit to Washington tomorrow, where a federal government shutdown looms as Congress feuds over funding, including for Ukraine. Last year, Zelensky addressed a joint meeting of Congress to wide bipartisan support. But this year,
there's no money. It's not a good time for him to be here, quite frankly. Any money we give to Ukraine, we're borrowing from our future.
Leadership in the now Republican-led House is slamming the White House's $24 billion proposal for Ukraine security and humanitarian aid, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
I don't think I have to commit anything. Where's the accountability on the money we already spent? What is the plan for victory?
The speaker reversing course after telling a Russian reporter in May that he will continue supporting Ukraine. The president insisting the U.S. can't double back now with the world and history watching.
We face a moment of great upheaval, a moment where basic principles like sovereignty, territorial integrity, universal human rights are being tested.
President Zelensky is set for a third White House meeting with President Biden tomorrow and for Capitol Hill meetings with House and Senate members. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Migrant crossings along the U.S. southern border are rising. Homeland Security officials say there were more than 8,000 apprehensions on Monday. That's around the same number of daily border encounters from before the COVID-era restriction known as Title 42 expired back in May. At first, border crossings fell dramatically, but now they're ticking up again. The influx is straining federal resources and overwhelming already crowded facilities. Officials say many of the current crossings are families, which creates more challenges for officials.
Police are investigating the death of a New England man who attended Sunday night's Patriots game at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Authorities did not immediately say whether his death was related to a fight he was involved in. Witnesses say he was punched at least twice in the head and never regained consciousness. Norfolk County District Attorney's Office said 53-year-old from New Hampshire died following the incident in the 300-tier section of Gillette Stadium.
Trying to shed some pounds, a new study reveals when you exercise can influence how much weight you might lose. Research found the best time of day to exercise is between 7 and 9 a.m. People who worked out then lost more weight than people who exercised midday or evening. Researchers based their findings on the health and activity level of more than 5,000 people from 2 decades ago. Despite their findings, scientists say they want to conduct more research.
That's during our break.
I know.
Maybe we'll give it a try.
The 9 a.m. is about to get very interesting.
Yes.
Our newscast.
That would be interesting. Time now, 4:37 and 75 degrees for now.
Steph, why are you sweating? A few lucky people in Bexar County could soon see their medical debt completely erased. We'll tell you how next.
And let's look out there with TransGuide. Stephen has reported that stall right there. This is an 18-wheeler, I-10 eastbound. This is near the Y. And it looks like at this point only the shoulder lane is blocked, but a few vehicles there passing by slowly.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on early this morning as we get going here on GMSA. And looking out at the airport, if you're flying today, have a great flight, travel safely. We'll be here when you get back. You're watching GMSA. Good morning, welcome back. A jaw-dropping surprise is in the mail for nearly 10,000 people living here in Bexar County.
It's a notice that says their medical debt has been erased, and it's for real. So 12 on your side's Marilyn Morris tells us how a company and a nonprofit are paying the bill many could never pay off on their own.
If you open your mailbox and see this envelope from RIP Medical Debt, it's not junk and not a scam.
We often hear from people, oh, it's, this seems too good to be true. I opened the letter. I couldn't believe it. And, we totally get that, right? There isn't a huge precedent for good news just showing up in people's mailboxes.
The good news, their medical debt is paid. How did that happen? RIP Medical Debt is a charity that buys debt in bulk for pennies on the dollar. This time it was $13.9 million worth in Bexar County. The company Earn In donated the money to acquire the debt. Debt now erased.
What is the catch?
There is no catch. We did it because it is part of our company mission. So we want to give people financial momentum. The first part of that is getting unstuck.
Medical debt is chronic and crippling financially, mentally, and physically, as people buried in medical bills are less inclined to go to the doctor.
So we went out and we looked for places where we could make the most impact. And Bexar County is the largest county with the most medical debt, ranked number 3 in the country.
This gift is not something people can apply for.
We are specifically purchasing the debts of those who are 4 times or below the federal poverty level, or for whom a medical debt is 5% or more of their gross annual income.
If you accidentally throw your letter away, don't worry, your debt is still forgiven. Still, it's a good idea to hang on to it for your records. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
442, 75 degrees.
There's a group of women who are leading the field of forensic science in Bexar County. Up next, we take you inside the crime lab to show you their work and impact on criminal investigations.
And next, shocking body camera footage showing a high school band director being arrested and tased. Why the incident is now at the center of a police investigation.
And welcome back. It is 4:45. So police in Birmingham have released the body cam video showing a high school band director being arrested and tased by police for refusing to stop the band's performance and leave the stadium after a football game. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, shocking body camera footage showing a high school band director being arrested and tased, now at the center of a police investigation.
I didn't deserve to be tased. I'm a good citizen.
Birmingham police say this all happened after Johnny Mims refused their orders to cut Minor High School's band performance and leave the stadium after a football game last week. And this morning, Mims is telling his story to GMA.
What was going through your mind at that time when you heard everybody shouting, "Stop, stop"?
Honestly, I was thinking more about, I got to figure out how to get my students out of here. Like, I need to make sure that everybody is safe. How do I make that? And so a lot of the reaction you see from me to the police is, as a director, you know you're responsible for everybody that you've come to that game with.
And we'll have much more of this interview and the fallout from the tasing coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
And here at home, there is a push to get more women in forensics, and Bexar County is making an effort.
The county is hosting several online events during this National Forensic Science Week, showcasing their impact the scientists have made. RJ Marquez introduces us to 3 women who are making their mark in this field.
Hannah Maselli was interested in forensic science at an early age.
We grew up with the CSI crime scene investigation shows. That, sparked my interest as a kid.
Maselli has worked in the Bexar County Crime Lab for more than 4 years, analyzing any and all controlled substances.
We'll do about 20 to 30 cases at a time, not knowing what to expect when you come in. It keeps me on my toes, for sure.
Her colleague, Maureen Migliori, grew up loving chemistry.
I found forensic science because my teacher who told me to do this was a chemistry teacher, and she kind of put that in my mind.
Holly Warden works downstairs in the firearms lab.
I specialize in firearm and tool mark related evidence. So that would include things like function testing firearms, performing microscopic comparisons of fired bullets.
These 3 women are part of a significant change at the Bexar County Forensic Science Center.
When I started, it was all men. And now, look at this.
In 1998, the county had 14 forensic scientists, with 2 being women. This year, there are 22 scientists and more than half are women.
I am very proud to be one of the women here working here and pumping out cases every day.
Their work is critical to the county. They analyze every detail of a case, prepare reports, and testify during criminal trials and investigations.
We have people that are spending every day here at the county helping solve these crimes, helping do the forensic analysis. So that is something I'm most proud of.
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
And a quick check of the roads with TransGuide. We're still looking at that stall over there at I-10 eastbound. This is an 18-wheeler that is stalled, and it still appears that that shoulder is closed, and you can see some traffic is moving slowly by.
Okay, 75 degrees right now. Probably not going to get much lower than this morning, Mike, right?
Nah, maybe a degree or 2, something like that. And just to put it in perspective, it's 89 and 69 are the normal high and normal low this time of year. So we're still staying, 5, 6 above lows and almost 10 above for high temperatures.
We're overachievers. Right?
Oh, that's one way to put it. Very cool shot. This is from over there at Houston Airport, but wow. Yeah, really cool.
You just can hear the simmer. You know what's weird, Mike? The Arizona Cardinals team jet is still here in San Antonio, even though the season is underway.
Yeah,
been here for quite a while for maintenance.
Been wondering about that right there as you are on the the ramp getting off to the airport, and you can see it, a big old 777 right there. So anyway, I guess they're having to fly commercial. Who knows? Or something like that. Anyway, thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture out there. And got a lot of clear skies this morning. Going to be a beautiful sunrise. And temperatures, yes, we are well above normal. The humidity it's there this morning, about what it was yesterday, but like we were talking about, it almost feels a little more tolerable when you step outside. Yes, the humidity will drop down later on this afternoon, so it will be more comfortable, thank goodness, because we have those temperatures that are going to be in the upper 90s. The next couple of days, though, the trend looks like, though, we will start to see more morning humidity around here. Yes, it will drop in the afternoon, but it's going to be some pretty muggy mornings the next few mornings, and then it's going to be tougher to get rid of some of that humidity in the afternoon as well. Here's what temperatures look like today. Again, we really don't drop at all, maybe a degree or two this morning. A couple of clouds hanging around here. Plenty of sunshine, 90 at noon. Again, the normal high, 89. So we're above that already at noon. And then add almost 10 degrees, or almost 10 degrees above normal, get up to 97. The record's 100 today, so it is going to be very, very close to it. As far as satellite picture, nothing really going on around there. We had those clusters of thunderstorms up to the north yesterday. That system is going to continue to work its way in through the Mid-South. So if you got any travel plans in through the Mid-South, you definitely want to check ahead with that. But again, notice how everything's moving just about straight west to east, that kind of zonal pattern that is set up with these upper level wind lines going just about straight west to east. And the high is still hanging in there really tough. This thing is just not going to give up as far as summer is concerned. So it sits almost right on top of us in through the next couple of days, in through the first part of the weekend. Keeps us very hot. Here comes that low. Now, this thing is not diving down in our direction. Yes, the front is going to move into the area. Yeah, it will linger around here. It may touch off a stray shower or two by later Sunday into Monday. But again, notice how as this, even if it kind of drifts through the area, doesn't have a lot of upper level support. You need those wind lines coming there out of the north. That's when you really get to some of the cooler air. Yes, it will start to trim temperatures a little bit. But no, will not make it back down to normal readings as it's looking right now going into next week. We're still going to be in the upper 80s going into next week. So today, 97s all the way through Saturday. Yes, don't forget, fall does begin. Boy, that's going to be just kind of a dud, if you will, as far as the start of fall Saturday morning early, because we'll still be up to 97 in the afternoon, 96 on Sunday. Maybe a shower or two Sunday, Monday, and then, yes, temperatures will start to slowly decline going into next week, but still above normal.
Yeah, but the slow decline.
Yes, yeah. Better. So we'll take anything.
A maybe fall.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Well, was it false fall?
False fall.
False fall.
False fall. That's what it was.
452, 74 degrees.
Up next, Vanna White talks about her future plans on Wheel of Fortune with future host Ryan Seacrest.
Season 3 of a popular show on Hulu begins today. Plus, Vanna White plans to stay with Wheel of Fortune for a little while longer.
Related to what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
It's a really confusing dynamic within my family sometimes.
Here's something Charli D'Amelio's 151 million followers on TikTok are probably waiting for. Season 3 of The D'Amelio Show drops today on Hulu. And if you checked out the trailer, you know to expect a lot of tears and a lot of drama. But Charli and her sister Dixie tell me they don't feel like their lives are overly dramatic.
Definitely feel like we live a very chill life. But watching it on TV, I'm like, I don't think all this happened. When was this? Why are we yelling at each other? Seems a lot crazier for sure.
The first 2 episodes of Season 3 of The D'Amelio Show are out now on Hulu.
Are the stars of our show, Pat Sajak and Vanna White.
Pat Sajak may be leaving Wheel of Fortune, but Vanna White is sticking around a while longer. She just signed a new contract that will pair her with new host Ryan Seacrest for 2 years after Sajak leaves, which he'll do with the end of this upcoming season. And speaking of Ryan Seacrest, he just launched his 13th Seacrest Studio this week. These are broadcast studios in children's hospitals that allow the kids to create content and take their minds off the serious issues they're facing.
When a patient, a child, and a family can escape what they're going through, it's part of the healing process. It really helps with their mental health as well.
The latest Seacrest studio is at Cohen Children's Medical Center in Queens, New York. And maybe he'll use a dragon to light his birthday cake candles. Game of Thrones creator George R.R. Martin is 75 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
457, 74 degrees.
Up next, a first look at some dramatic new video that shows the moment a police officer and a group of bystanders lift a nearly 2-ton car to save a teenager's life.
Plus, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office releases new video of a vehicle pursuit that ended in the shooting of an armed man by a deputy. Up next, what the suspect in the case is being charged with so far.
And looking out there with TransGuide, still looking at this shot right there at I-10 at the Y. This is a stalled 18-wheeler on I-10 eastbound. It looks like that shoulder is still blocked, but we are going to be checking in with Steven Cavazos. He's in the studio right now, so we'll check in with him after the break.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, how Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai is hoping to fix a finger pointing going on between the district attorney and the San Antonio police chief regarding repeat offenders.
Outside with live cam, still humid this morning, a bit on the mild side, 74 degrees for now, but that could change in a matter of hours as we start to warm back up. Good morning, everybody. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, September 20th. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Yay, we made it to Wednesday, and we made it through the hot weather once again. It's our second summer, I guess.
That's right. Mike Osterage is here with a look ahead at our midweek day.
Second summer, or did the first one ever really end?
I mean, fair.
Well, we haven't been in the hundreds, so I guess this is kind of our second summer, and that was the first one, which was never ending. 75 degrees right now. Bottom number, dew point 67. Yeah, there's some humidity out there. You sort of notice it. Not really enough to give us any sort of a heat index as of right now, but we'll have enough left over to where that 97 is going to be feeling a bit hotter than that. Not oppressive humidity, but again, doesn't take much when you get those temperatures up in the upper 90s to give you that little bit of a heat index in the afternoon. The aquifer continued to go in the wrong direction, down another 0.4 of a foot, and mold on the high side. Ragweed is low. Updated count is going to be coming out a little bit later on this morning. Some of the temperatures around the area right now, we've got some low 70s, parts of the hill country. A couple of spots have now dipped into the upper 60s. Bernie Stage 68, 69 at Hondo. Rio Medina at 67 degrees. But still, these numbers are averaging 5 degrees above normal, and then this afternoon we are going to be averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees above normal. So again, we stay pretty steady throughout the rest of the morning. Mostly clear skies, 1 or 2 of those little clouds out there, and then later on this afternoon, 97 degrees. Normal high 89. Record is 100. It's going to be really, really close, and get used to seeing that number in the forecast. It's got that on there for the next couple of days, even going into the first day of fall. Of course, fall begins on Saturday. Anything like fall temperatures in behind that? We'll take a look ahead. Yes, that front's going to move into the area, but again, don't get too excited about it. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, good morning, Stephen. What's going on? I see some flashing lights in a couple of spots.
Yep, Mike, here at I-10 at the Y, we do have some flashing lights right behind me. This is that stalled 18-wheeler that we've been keeping a very close eye on throughout the morning. You can see that we still have that shoulder lane that's blocked. And in fact, as I was driving into the station this morning, I saw those flashing lights out there. So just be prepared if you're traveling through the area. It's not really causing so much of an impact with traffic. As you can see, things are still pretty quiet out there, but we'll have to keep a close eye on it throughout the morning. As we take you to our map, no buildup just yet, but let's keep a close eye on that and hope for a better update in the next few minutes. As we give you a wide look at the map now at 5:03, we're just seeing some quiet roadways. As always, that's expected, but there's still plenty of overnight work that's in the clearing stages. 1604 over near Northwest Military, we had a pretty big closure overnight. Looks like crews have already cleared out, but those barricades may still be out there. I'll have an update on that in the next few minutes as well, but quick look at your travel times. If you plan on hitting the roads and heading right here to the Alamo City, right now I-10 westbound from Seguin is about 28 minutes at this hour. 33, the usual drive time if you are heading in from Lavernia this early, and a 28-minute drive time for our friends down in Floresville. But again, we'll keep a close eye here at I-10 at the Y, and let's see what else is going on around town. Doesn't seem that we're seeing much traffic anywhere else at 410 at Ray Ellison Boulevard, but I'll have another update coming up a little bit later on in the newscast. Steph.
Thank you, Stephen. We are finally getting to see the exact moment when a Bexar County Sheriff's deputy shot a man after they say that man pulled out a gun. This happened a month ago near Converse, and this new footage comes from a deputy's body camera video. Now it shows several different scenes. First, you see deputies outside a sports bar after security there said a man had a gun in his waistband. Then you see the deputies chasing a car through a neighborhood. You see two men run out of the car. Deputies chase them until the men get to a fence, and that's when in the video you can see one of the men raise his hands, and then deputies say the other man pulls out a gun.
Drop the gun! Drop the...
Now the person who was shot has been identified as 32-year-old Terrence Duckworth. He is being charged with evading arrest and possession of a stolen firearm. Deputies also arrested two other men, and the two deputies who were involved in this incident are on paid administrative leave while the sheriff's office investigates.
Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai held his first of 4 community conversations last night. He is hoping to address a wide range of issues and topics. He started in Precinct 4, and homelessness and roadways were a high priority. However, recent violence in our area over the past month, also a big topic, with finger pointing going on between the Bexar County DA and San Antonio Police Chief about repeat offenders back on the streets. Judge Sakai says both county and city leaders need to come to a real resolution.
We're going to look at the criminal justice system at the various parts. We want to look at arrest, we want to look at booking, we want to look at magistrating, we want to see what the bond process is.
Sakai also says he's asked district court judges to conduct a study on the bond process. He also plans to look into the DA's work. However, a timeline for when and how long all those things will take was not given.
KSAT Community is partnering with the San Antonio Food Bank to help squash hunger during Hunger Action Month. So join us for a KSAT Community Town Hall happening this Friday. So we're going to speak with leaders from the food bank and learn how anyone can give back. We'll be live streaming the town hall live on KSAT.com from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. This is Friday afternoon.
Our Head for the Cure 5K in honor of our late news director Jim Boyle is commemorating 10 years. If you'd like to register, there's still time to keep up with Stephanie Cerna. Just go to headforthecure.com/San Antonio and use the code KSAT for $5 off. The 5K takes place on Saturday, September 23rd. Now to a dramatic rescue on a road in the state of Georgia.
A teenager became trapped beneath his car. As ABC's Rhiannon Alley shows us, thankfully there were people willing to jump in and save his life.
He can't breathe. You and me are going to lift this car up right now. Yes.
New video shows the moment a Georgia police officer and a group of bystanders lift a nearly 2-ton car to save a teenager's life. It happened near Atlanta around 11 p.m. Sergeant Michael Peterson spots a speeding car and follows it. Moments later, he sees the car overturned.
Sir, please help us out. Please help us out. Yep, you're on out.
3 teenage passengers are able to crawl out of the upside-down vehicle, but one is stuck inside. The teens tell Sergeant Peterson the 19-year-old driver flew out of the sunroof and is now being crushed beneath the car, struggling to breathe.
Can you breathe? You can't breathe.
Peterson instructs the teens to help him lift the car.
He can't breathe. You and me are going to lift this car up right now. Yes. Help.
With the help of some good Samaritans who stopped to help, they struggled to lift the 3,600-pound vehicle.
Come on, y'all. We got this. Come on, y'all.
Their teamwork paying off as they lift the car enough to free the driver.
He's out. Good job, y'all.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Wow. Okay, 5:08, 74 degrees.
It's your Child Play Fortnite. Well, up next, how parents can now get a refund if kids purchased in-game items without their knowledge.
Completely separate story. Kids committing crimes. It's a troubling trend that's gotten worse since last year. Up next, how Bexar County leaders are planning to deal with it.
And let's look out there with a live cam. Not too bad. 74 degrees, we'll take that. Things are going to heat up again this afternoon. Be prepared for the heat and keep your fingers crossed for a chance of rain next week.
512, new numbers tracked by the Bexar County Juvenile Probation Department show a rise in the amount of felony cases of juveniles stealing cars and being found with weapons.
They're also showing a rise in teens breaking into vehicles. So during a town hall at St. Mary's University last night, Chief William McManus and 436 Juvenile District Judge William Cruz Shaw talked about a very sad reality regarding the types of crimes teens here are involved in. Shaw says that children in the juvenile system have no right to a bond and can be kept up to 10 days. Some come from troubled families and some rejected and abandoned altogether.
Some of these kids have lived lives that we would never understand. And then we expect them to handle situations like adults. But we have to keep in mind they're still children.
The town hall brought out a lot of community members who say the problem of teen crime is one we all need to tackle together.
You can watch the entire town hall. It is available right now on our KSAT YouTube channel.
513, 74 degrees.
Up next, how Google's new chatbot can help you find answers in Gmail, Docs, Drive, Maps, and more.
Plus, a first look at Google's newly designed Fitbit app.
Some people just know that's not gonna fit. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate.
That's not gonna fit.
What's that?
You need another 4 inches.
Do you work here?
Nope. I just saw you there and I thought I'd save you the trouble.
Nana. She's a human measuring tape and she knows Allstate is the right fit for her.
It's not gonna fit. That's not gonna fit. What? Steven.
Some people just know.
Well played. Well played, my friend.
Those are the people who know you're in good hands with Allstate.
NFL Plus. I catch live, local, and primetime games on my phone. And I catch every touchdown every Sunday afternoon on NFL Red Zone.
Catch it all and start streaming NFL Plus today. Plans start at $6.99 a month.
Once in a lifetime is never enough. Never enough. When I wear diamonds, I feel powerful. I feel on top of the world. Diamonds, diamonds, diamonds for all. Pandora, lab-grown diamonds.
Welcome back to GMSA 516. Parents could now obtain a refund from the popular video game Fortnite for in-game items their kids purchased without their knowledge. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, the maker of Fortnite poised to make a massive payout. Nearly 40 million people can now apply for a small portion of a big settlement. The refunds will be paid to parents whose kids were tricked into making those in-app purchases for the game's V-Bucks currency and virtual outfits. The settlement is worth $245 million. To file a claim, go to the FTC website, ftc.gov/Fortnite. Google's AI chat box is no longer limited to just pulling answers from the internet. Bard can now scan your Gmail, Docs, and your Drive, helping you to find the information you're looking for. And Google's Fitbit reboot is officially available. The remake splits activities into 3 tabs. Coach is about motivation, You focuses on achievements, while the Today tab reveals health trends over the past month or year. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
517, Steven's here. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Well, you know what? Our mornings have been pretty quiet over the last few days, but this morning we're seeing some flashing lights out there. And thankfully, it's nothing major, but let's get a look at TransGuide, show you what is taking in place out there along I-10 near the Y. This is that shot, as you can see, that camera there where we have a stalled 18-wheeler that was reported earlier this morning. In fact, as I was driving into work, I saw that they're along I-10 heading eastbound. So be on the lookout. We do have plenty of crews out there working to get that vehicle moving. So let's make sure we watch out. Right now, it only appears the shoulder lane is blocked. No delays are being detected on our map just yet, but I'll keep a close eye on that. And if we have an update, we'll be sure to let you know. Wide look at the map. It's so quiet, thankfully, for the most part, as we take a look and see plenty of green on the screen. One of the things that we tend to see around this hour is a lot of the road work that should be wrapping up overnight, but something that will be in place for quite a while are the closures here along Loop 1604. We have the North Expansion project, so if you're sipping your cup of coffee at home, take a good read at your screen, because this has been current, and this portion will wrap on Sunday, September 24th. This is overnight and will last till 12 in the afternoon. During that time, we'll see the westbound to eastbound turnaround long-term closure, long-term, at Loop 1604 and Northwest Military Highway. That closure, according to KSAT, will be in place for approximately 4 weeks. So just plan that commute ahead of time. There is plenty of information about Loop 1604 as well as other projects. If you scan this QR code, you know the drill. Takes you to our KSAT traffic page. We have a full list of all the closures on our website. There is plenty of work happening overnight. And of course, Loop 1604 is one of the busier spots, Mike. I drove by there the other day, got caught in traffic once again, but that's why you got to plan your commute ahead of time.
Thank you very much, sir. And hey, Mark, go do me a favor. Would you swipe on that that iPad over there?
Sure.
So I can get a different picture popping up. But right now, we want to still talk about the annular solar eclipse that is coming up there on the 14th, 24 days from now. And it is going to be exactly when the moon, which will be in its new moon phase, and it comes right in front of the sun. But of course, it is a little further. It's at the farthest point of its orbit. The moon is, so it's a little bit smaller in relation to the sun. So we'll get that nice little ring right around there. And it's just, I mean, how lucky. It's like winning the lottery, because we get the annular eclipse in October next month, but then in April we get the total eclipse around here. We are right smack in the middle of the bullseye, I guess you could say. Fly me to the moon. Speaking of the moon, there is the waxing crescent moon right now, and this little guy, which is flying through there. Great shot. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect picture. Got a lot of clear skies out there this morning. Maybe one or two clouds hanging around here, kind of like what we had yesterday, kind of like what we had the previous morning. 75 degrees right now, normal low 69 here in town. So again, we're averaging 5, 6, 7 degrees above normal. Do have a couple of upper 60s, 69 there in Los Maples as well as Kerrville right now. And the cool spot is Rio Medina at 67 degrees. Probably not going to drop down that much more, if at all, this morning, just because of some of this relatively higher humidity. It's not like it pushes back when you walk outside, but you kind of notice it. One or two clouds here or there, already up to the normal high temperature, and then some at noon. We top off at 97 later on today. Heat index, there's going to be just enough leftover humidity, even though it will drop down. Doesn't take much when you have temperatures in the upper 90s, so we're going to be feeling like 99, 100, maybe 101. New Braunfels 103 for a heat index later on this afternoon. Let's jump ahead to the weekend and Saturday into Sunday. Now, this particular computer model, I'm sorry that moved by there very quickly, but it does want to scare up a couple of showers around here, maybe late Sunday into Monday. Now, this tends to paint things with somewhat of a broad brush. This is the most ambitious, I guess you could say, of the computer models, and perhaps a couple leftover for those sprinkles then on Tuesday. So here's a different computer model, and yeah, it's got maybe a couple of showers around here on Sunday, perhaps one or two on Monday, and again, the same thing, a small chance for a couple of showers here on Monday. Yes, there is that chance of rain. Again, these things kind of paint those in with a broad brush, but right now only putting at best a 20% chance on any sort of rain around here. And again, the high, which is going to continue to dominate things here, that just won't loosen its grip at all on us until maybe sometime going into next week. So what that means is it's going to stay really hot for the next few days. 97s all the way through the rest of the week, in through Saturday, right for the start of fall. It ain't going to feel like it. 96 on Sunday. And again, one or two of those showers out there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Perhaps a leftover. Temperatures will slowly ease downward. We'll take anything, but still not down to normal once we get into the middle part of next week. Better, but not where we want it to be.
Okay, baby steps.
Yes.
Okay. 523, 74 degrees.
Up next, a first look at Nicolas Cage in Dream Scenario, plus Jason Momoa brings us Deep Rising.
If you've ever dreamed about Oscar winner Nicolas Cage, apparently you are far from alone.
CNN's David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
You've been on my mind recently. Yeah? Because you keep popping up in my dreams. You don't do anything, you're just there.
And she's not the only one. Nicolas Cage plays a relative nobody who's suddenly on everybody's minds in Dream Scenario. A24 just released the first trailer for the surreal comedy, which opens in theaters November 10th.
I was at that point infatuated with fame.
The Russell Brand saga continues. The BBC and Britain's Channel 4 have removed TV and audio shows featuring the actor and comedian. YouTube has suspended revenue on his channel, saying he violated the platform's creator responsibility policy, and the remaining shows on his live comedy tour have been postponed. Multiple women have accused Brand of sexual assault, allegations he strongly denies.
Wherever humanity makes a mark in the ocean, the entire system is affected in ways that we are only just beginning to comprehend.
Deep Rising looks at the battle over the planet's last untouched wilderness, the ocean floor. Is it the heritage of humankind or the key to the future of sustainable energy? The documentary looks at how our choices now could affect future generations. Deep Rising, narrated and executive produced by Jason Momoa, opens in theaters October 27th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Time check, 5:27, 74 degrees.
As the U.S. faces numerous economic hurdles, the Fed will soon announce its latest plan for interest rates. We're going to tell you what's expected and the other financial issues the country faces in the coming weeks.
All right, Mike, listen up. You ready for some caviar with your Pringles chips? How the chip maker is trying to cash in on the popular social media trend. What do you think of that, Fancy Pants?
You should see Mike's face right now. Thanks to artificial intelligence, someone's voice on the phone may not be who you think. Up next, we're going to take a look at how easy it was for some San Antonians to fall victim to this high-tech scam.
Oh, boy. And ahead on GMSA at 6, a Hill Country corn maze celebrating the fall season with an homage to the Queen of Country. Mia Montgomery went out to Fredericksburg to check it out. This morning, the U.S. economy facing a few financial hurdles, especially on industries we count on every day.
Input costs are through the ceiling. My risk exposure is through the ceiling. It's a risky, scary time.
Up next, the steps the Fed and lawmakers are taking now to minimize the damage later.
And here at home, we are in the mid-70s, and summer loves us just hanging on with a tight grip, doesn't want to let us go.
That's true. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, September 20th.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you had a good week so far. And, you know, I guess we're in our second summer because at least it's not the triple digits.
True. Let me close to it, though. The record today is 100. We're going to be up to 97. 97's the next few days all the way through Saturday. Yeah, it's just
a little close for comfort for some folks.
Yeah. Well, and then, you know, any little bit of leftover humidity, and there will be a little bit of leftover humidity in the afternoon, that adds that heat index, you know, a couple of 2-3 degrees. So it's going to feel like it's even up around 100 or into the low hundreds in some spots. Got a couple of clouds that have started to pop up out there. Looking out at the airport off to the west, temperature has been holding pretty steady. Well, actually, we went up just a notch in the past half an hour. 76 right now. We were at 75 degrees. Dew point's at 68. So yeah, enough humidity to where you sort of notice it when you step outside this morning. And temperatures around the area, we do have a couple of 60s. Actually, it's dropped down another degree there in Rio Medina, 66 degrees. Everybody's kind of jealous of that. We should be at 69 here in town. Obviously, way above that. 5-10 degrees above normal on the low end of things. That's what it's going to be later on this afternoon as well. Mold is on the high side. Ragweed is low. And we'll have mostly sunny skies today. Again, very, very hot. Same thing throughout the rest of the week. Tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we do have a slight chance for a shower or two. It's still going to be hot over the weekend. We'll be at 96 degrees on Sunday, and I wouldn't get really excited about those rain chances, nor really on Monday. But that front, you know, we've been talking about that cold front. It is still going to sort of kind of linger in the area, and it may give us a couple of showers on Monday. It will trim temperatures. They'll ease downward, but we're still going to be in the 90s going into at least the middle part of next week. All the details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, any more flashing lights out there?
The same flashing lights are still out there near I-10 at the Y, Mike, but thankfully as we get a look around town, we're not seeing any other issues, just maybe a little bit more traffic. 410 at Broadway, the east and westbound lanes aren't too bad, but we can expect both of those directions to be a little bit more jam-packed with traffic later this morning. Right now, most drivers are in the clear. Check out behind me, 1604 Pat Booker. We really don't have a lot of folks out there this early in the morning, but as always, that's going to change as the morning commute does get moving. But taking you to our map, the only major problem that we've seen is this stall 18-wheeler along I-10 eastbound near the Y. It's not caused any issues because it's off in the shoulder lanes, but we know a lot of traffic tends to make its way through that area as folks are heading through the downtown spot of San Antonio. Be on the lookout for that if your travels take you through there this early in the morning. I'm still seeing those flashing lights from TransGuide. We'll show you that shot in just a minute, but behind me, plenty of open roads as you just saw. Take your time coming in. There's no need to rush. The journey from Bernie along I-10 eastbound should be about 22 minutes. Right now, no need to hurry if you are traveling in from Bulverde this early. It's a 25-minute drive time. And not too awful from New Braunfels along I-35 southbound. Drivers there expect a 24-minute commute. But back here on TransGuide, as we take a look there, 10 at Probent, things are fine, but the problems still remain right here at I-10 at the Y. We'll keep a close eye on this throughout the morning, and if there's any update, we'll have that for you coming up a little later on. Mark.
Hey, Stephen, imagine this. You get a call from a loved one desperately in need of money, and before you know it, you're shelling out thousands.
Well, thanks to artificial intelligence, that voice on the phone may not be who you think it is. Our Katrina Weber is live downtown with that story. Katrina, you say it was pretty easy for some San Antonians to fall victim to these high-tech schemes.
The scheme involves something called voice cloning. Now, that's criminals using technology sometimes right in their hands to tug at people's heartstrings and yank open their purse strings.
See, there's one now.
Unfamiliar numbers automatically get the rejection button these days. But one of those calls last month nearly cost this man who didn't want to use his name more than just time.
A voice said, "Grandpa." And I said, "TK?" Because the voice was the voice of my grandson.
He says he heard a desperate cry for help, that he had injured a pregnant woman in a crash.
So he's got my attention right away. And he said, "I'm in jail."
After another call with what he thought was an attorney, he rushed to his credit union, ready to withdraw thousands for his grandson's bail. Luckily, a teller warned it could be an elaborate scheme.
It's so convincing. I mean, there was nothing in the voice to tell me that it's not him.
I was extremely surprised. In the first time, I did not believe it.
Mohammed Rana also had a costly call recently. The business owner assumed a security system was all he needed, only crooks found a way into one of his stores on the phone.
All the money, almost $3,000 exactly.
Rana says a mystery caller got a worker to empty out the register and more. She was sure she was talking to you.
She was 100% sure.
As it turned out, both cases involved artificial intelligence and something called voice cloning. With AI, fraudsters can clone or copy people's voices from videos they post to social media.
They're pretty believable, and then you're typing in what you want the voice print to say.
Jason Whitty, the chief security officer at USAA, says no one at his bank has been hit, but he's worried more and more people could be.
The technologies that are underpinning this are actually getting a lot better, and they're getting a lot more accessible to the public.
In case you have any doubt, look what I was able to get right at my fingertips within seconds. It's an app for entertainment purposes that lets you put words into the mouths of celebrities.
I love watching Katrina Weber on KSAT 12 News.
Most people think, well, that can't happen to me, but believe me, it's all about emotion.
Both he and Rana hope others will learn from them and hang up on voice cloning conmen. Now, there actually is a lot that you can do to protect yourself from voice cloning schemes. For more tips, you can head over to the story that's on our website right now. That's at KSAT.com. Reporting live downtown, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Katrina, great local story. Thank you so much. 5:37. This morning, the Federal Reserve might be ready to give the U.S. economy a bit of a breather.
Fed Chair Jerome Powell is expected to announce its benchmark lending rate will hold steady. As CNN's John Lawrence reports, now officials will wait for more information to see how their previous hikes affected or didn't affect the economy.
People are running out of the excess savings that they had, and banking sector loan growth has slowed.
By anyone's yardstick, the U.S. economy is facing a few financial hurdles.
Input costs are through the ceiling. My risk exposure is through the ceiling. It's a risky, scary time.
First, there's the United Auto Workers strike, which may soon expand.
If we don't make serious progress by noon,
on Friday, September 22nd, more locals will be called on to stand up and join the strike.
The writers' strike in Hollywood is also ongoing. AAA says gas prices are reaching record levels, affecting everyone from commuters to farmers.
Last year, we put out $31,000 in fuel. I'm scared to even imagine what it's going to be this year.
New home building in the U.S. collapsed 11% in August, according to the Census Bureau. And to top it off, Washington, D.C. has less than 2 weeks to prevent the government from being forced to close its doors.
We're days away, once again, from a government shutdown, all at the hands of this endless MAGA madness.
You know, I'm not a fan of government shutdowns. I've seen a few of them over the years. They never have produced a policy change.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Oscar-winning actor Matthew McConaughey is putting his political ambitions on hold for now. He says being a father is his most important job before he considers stepping into politics. McConaughey shared his thought Monday during his Smartless podcast with his wife. Now in 2021, the actor was considering launching a gubernatorial campaign here in Texas. McConaughey later announced he would not run, instead focusing on his efforts in the private sector. In July, McConaughey and ALVS launched the Green Lights Grant Initiative. It is a program that helps school districts apply for federal grants to access funding to create safety in schools.
Powerball jackpot worth $672 million ahead of tonight's drawing. That's the 10th largest prize in the game's history. The person who matches all 6 numbers can get the full amount of cash over several years, or they can get the smaller amount all at once. Powerball says the odds of nailing the jackpot are roughly 1 in 292 million. The game has smaller prizes with a greater chance of winning.
And the time now is 5:40 and 75 degrees for now.
This year's holiday shopping experience may not be the same as years past. Up next, why holiday hiring may be the lowest it's been in 15 years.
And if you love your Pringles, but just a little fancier, how about a side of caviar? Up next, how Pringles is looking to cash in on this weird viral trend.
And outside with Live Cam, made it to Wednesday. Congratulations, everybody. Thanks for watching GMSA. We'll move on after this with a look at traffic and weather.
And welcome back. It's 5:44. Your morning consumer headlines. The head of Xbox is responding to a leak of internal communications about the release of future game consoles and potential plans to buy Nintendo. The documents are from a legal battle between the Federal Trade Commission and Microsoft. The FTC is suing to block Microsoft from buying video game studio Activision Blizzard for nearly $69 billion. Microsoft hopes to close the deal next month. Forbes reports it appears the documents were accidentally leaked by Microsoft, which owns Xbox. The head of Xbox posted on social media that it's difficult to see their team's work shared in this way because so much has changed. He added they will share the real plans when they're ready.
We're less than 100 days till Christmas, 96 to be exact, and this year's holiday shopping experience may not be the same as years past. That's because retailers are expected to add 410,000 seasonal positions for holiday shopping. The projection would mark the industry's lowest seasonal hiring total since 2008. Amazon is the only one so far to say it's increasing numbers. It says they'll add 250,000 employees ahead of the holiday season this year, and that would be a significant jump from last year's holiday workforce. Experts say American spending habits have shifted lately to focus on must-haves like groceries, even so they're still splurging on things like international travel and dining out.
And it has become a TikTok sensation, people snacking on Pringles and caviar. So more than 10 billion people have viewed the videos online, and now Pringles hoping to cash in on the social media movement. It's teaming up with the caviar company to create a new product, the Crisp and Caviar Collection. The limited edition products are on sale now, and it will pair Pringles original sour cream and onion and barbecue flavors with the Caviar Company's classic white caviar and its smoked trout roe. But these new snacks are not cheap. The prices start at $49 and go as high as $140. That is for the different selections.
Not
Mike,
thrilled.
maybe.
No, Stephen? No, maybe? No big.
Try.
Let's do it.
Nope. Okay.
Let's do it.
That's the most enthusiastic response so far.
So Mike and Stephen are on board. Okay.
Yes, 546, 75 degrees.
All right, let's look out there with TransGuide. Here's a shot there at I-10 at Provant where it appears things are moving. Also there at I-35. Again, we're going to check in with Stephen Cavazos for an update very soon.
All right, time check. We are approaching 6 a.m. and we still have that problem out here at I-10 and the Y. And unfortunately, as expected, we can see a lot of traffic moving through there. At this time, we only know that the shoulder lane is blocked. This is that stalled 18-wheeler along I-10 eastbound. We're not really seeing a buildup just yet, but let's keep a close eye on that throughout the morning. We do know that crews have been out there for well over an hour working to get that 18-wheeler moving again. But thankfully, it's the only major issue I've detected out there on the roadways. You can see behind me, it's pretty quiet, but if you plan on hitting the roads, and let's say you're heading to the gas pump, let's take a quick look at the AAA gas prices. As of today, that average gas price in Bexar County, $3.47. But the state looks a little different, $3.41. And around the country, $3.87. Now, while Texas is not one of the most expensive markets around the country, we do know that that national average is pretty steep. The last time we saw this, compared to 2019, we saw gas around a little over $2.50. So that's according to AAA. So compare that to what we saw about 4 years ago. That's a pretty big jump. So just know what to expect if you have to hit the pump. But back here on TransGuide, also know what to expect if you have to travel through there. I-10 eastbound, guys.
Yeah, about 345, 347, something like that. I had to fill up yesterday.
Yeah, it's a pain at the pump. I hate using that term.
Didn't it get down
to
like buck 70, 80 at one point? Back around 2019, something like that?
It's been a while. That was obviously pre-pandemic, if I recall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah, the good old days.
Ah.
All right. Love this picture. Look at that hummingbird right there. And on porter weeds. Didn't know that. Beautiful little flowers on those things. And he's just going to town there. Great picture. Thank you very much for the KSAT Connect shot. All right, as you can see, well, I was going to say, there's a star out there. No, that's an airplane landing, and not bad flying weather today. Got a couple of clouds hanging out there this morning. All right, Climate Prediction Center, as far as precipitation, leaning toward maybe slightly better than what would be average precipitation going into the last week of the month. But temperatures, boy, once again, summer is just not releasing its grip. Now, this would be the leaning toward better odds of being above normal. So it doesn't mean we'll be in the mid-upper 90s, anything like that. Normal by this time of the month, by the end of September going into October, is going to be down in closer toward the mid-80s. So we'd be slightly above that. But again, no big cold front is what this is looking like. Then going into that period into the first couple of days of October, leaning toward the drier side of things. And yeah, big surprise there. Still, odds are leaning toward temperatures being on the above normal side, which is where we are right now. 76, normal low is 69. That's the temperature in Bandera, Los Maples, 66 right now at Rio Medina. Temperature is going to continue, not drop down really this morning at all from where they are right now. A couple of clouds hanging around here. We will already be up above the normal high temperature, which is 89 degrees at noon today, and then top off at 97. The record is 100 today. It's not in jeopardy. It's going to be a close call, though. And then, of course, we are going to have little bit of leftover humidity is going to be out there this afternoon, so it'll feel like 98, 99, 100 when you factor in that humidity, and of course that's in the shade. So here's what's going on. The high just remains in place. This thing is not going anywhere, and that low, which we've been watching, which is still going to develop out there to the north, pretty much stays in the northern tier. It will try and throw this front down in our direction, but this is one that doesn't have a lot of support behind it. It's going to sort of linger in the area as it does, maybe a couple of sprinkles Sunday. On Monday, a shower, thunderstorm here or there. And yes, it will eventually sort of just ease its way through here. Yes, temperatures will go from 97 and finally drop down into the mid to lower 90s by the middle portion of the week. But what you like to see is some of these upper level wind lines just really coming in behind that. That would dump all that cold air on top of us. That's not going to be the case going into next week, despite the fact that this front does move on through here. We'll still have these temperatures that are going to be above normal. 97s all the way through Saturday. Fall begins early on Saturday. Couple of stray showers, maybe Sunday and Monday. And okay, it's not going to be 97, 92. We'll take that. We'll take anything. We'll be back after this.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, the countdown to a possible government shutdown. House Republicans failing to advance a defense spending bill with less than 2 weeks to go. We're live on Capitol Hill. Plus, the high school band director who was tased and arrested when he refused to stop the music. He is sharing his story. You'll see those stories and so much more right here on a Wednesday edition of GMA.
KSAT Community partnering with the Food Bank to help end hunger during Hunger Action Month. Join us for our town hall coming up this Friday, September 22nd. We'll be speaking with leaders from the Food Bank. We're live streaming the town hall. KSAT.com, 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. Up in our next hour, a wave of cyber attacks targeting Las Vegas casinos and other major companies. What security experts say you should do to protect yourself in the digital world. Plus, why some parents and teachers in SAISD are pushing back against plans to close 20% of the district's schools. And up next, the Hill Country Corn Maze celebrating fall with a tribute to Reba McEntire. Our Mia Montgomery went out to Fredericksburg to check it out. And we'll talk to Stephen about traffic coming up next as we take a live look at an incident that has been lingering at 10 at the Y on the inbound lanes. We'll be back.
He can't breathe. Yumi, you're going to lift this car up right now. Yes.
This morning on GMSA, a dramatic rescue on the road in Georgia after a teen was trapped under a car. Now, how a police officer and a group of bystanders were able to lift it up to save his life.
Back here at home, a trend of kids committing crimes has gotten worse since last year. How Bexar County leaders plan to deal with it.
And we are inching closer to official fall, but still feels like summer here for a little bit. But we're going to check in with Mike to see if there's any relief in store for next week.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning to you. It's midweek. We made it to Wednesday at 6 a.m. on September 20th.
Happy Wednesday. Thanks for starting your morning with us. 75 degrees, not too bad for now outside.
Before we know it, we're going to have chilly mornings around here. For now, we stay in mild
really
territory.
Pushing things, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, we're less than a couple.
It just seems like after this summer that's almost unobtainable.
Well, remember, I also said earlier that we're only 96 days away from Christmas.
Don't tell me that. All right, good news is, we'll spin this positively. We won't be in the upper 90s by next week.
Well, Merry Christmas to you, too.
Okay, thank you very much. We got a couple of clouds starting off here this morning, and temperature stands at 76. We're still, though, 7 above normal, and we may fluctuate a degree or two here or there this morning. Got some upper 60s in portions of the hill country. Humidity, yeah, there's enough of it out there to where you notice it when you step outside this morning, and there'll be enough left over this afternoon to where the 97 feels like about 100. Mold is on the high side. Ragweed is low. Of course, the updated count comes out in about an hour and a half or so. Temperatures, like I said, will stay pretty steady the next few hours, and then we warm up through the 80s, already up to 90 at noon, normal high 89, and then we top off at 97 degrees. The record is 100, so it's going to be really close. And get used to that, the 97, because it's going to stay that hot all the way through the rest of the week and in through Saturday, the first official day of fall. Then temperatures will slowly decline. So, yes, by the middle of next week, we won't be in the upper 90s. But will it be down to normal? And we'll talk about some very small rain chances coming up here. Really small rain chances. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen, been pretty quiet. Is that still the case?
You know, it's been quiet, Mike, but we've been keeping a very close eye here at I-10 at the Y. This has been that same spot where we have that stalled 18-wheeler. Been lingering around for well over an hour. We are getting close to that 2-hour mark, and you can still see those flashing lights out there where we do have at least a shoulder lane blocked off. Now, traffic's still moving through the screen there in the eastbound lanes, and we haven't seen any major delays just yet, but I got to keep a close eye on that. Where it's being reported is just near the Y, as you saw from that TransGuide camera. In fact, as I was driving in at the station this morning, that's exactly what I saw. So our friends at TransGuide are keeping a close eye on that as well. Hopefully we'll have a better update before the show wraps up, but as we give you a wide look at the map, thankfully, it is still pretty quiet out there, but we can expect that to change as folks are waking up and heading out the door. Usual spot that we will start to see that slowdown is along US 90, and as folks are making their way into the Alamo City, they can expect some quiet roads for now. It's still a 28-minute drive time for anyone heading in along 37 northbound, from Pleasanton with 28 minutes. 28 along US 90 eastbound from Castroville, and the arrival from Lytle should take about 16 minutes along I-35 northbound. But the TransGuide cameras aren't picking up any major problems. I haven't seen anything else reported reported from TxDOT other than a few stalls, but this seems to be the big one right now at I-10 heading eastbound near the Y. We'll watch it closely and we'll see what we can, if we'll have a better update coming up a little bit later on. Mark.
Stephen, new this morning, San Antonio police say a man's in the hospital after he was pistol whipped in the head and shot in the leg overnight. Happened just after 10 p.m. in the 100 block of Dresden off Jackson Keller on the city's north side. Police said the victim claims he was robbed before being pistol whipped and shot. He then managed to drive to an apartment complex nearby to get help. He was taken to a hospital. SAPD says they have a description of the suspects but are not releasing any information at this time. This morning, we're getting a closer look at new numbers being tracked by the Bexar County Juvenile Probation Department. It's raising some new concerns.
Our Sarah Costa joins us in the studio with the takeaways from a recent town hall meeting that highlighted a rise in crime among Bexar County teens. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Steph. Yeah, those numbers show a rise in the amount of felony cases in teens stealing cars and being found with weapons. They are also showing a rise in teens breaking into vehicles. So during a town hall at St. Mary's University last night, Chief William McManus and 436 Juvenile District Judge William Cruz Shaw talked about a very troubling reality regarding the types of crimes teens here are involved in. So Shaw says children in the juvenile system have no right to a bond and can be kept up to 10 days. Some come from troubled families and some are also rejected and abandoned altogether.
Some of these kids have lived lives that we would never understand, and then we expect them to handle situations like adults, but we have to keep in mind they're still children.
So Shaw went on to share how some children are even committing crimes to post online and share for likes. Community members say the problem of teen crime is one we all need to tackle together. You can watch the entire town hall. It's available right now on our KSAT YouTube channel. You can also find more about this story on KSAT.com. Just look for it on our homepage. Mark, Steph.
Thank you, Sarah. Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai held his first of 4 community conversations last night. He's hoping to address a wide range of issues and topics. He started in Precinct 4 with homelessness and roadways as top priorities. However, recent violence in our area over the past month also a big topic, with finger pointing going on between the Bexar County District Attorney and San Antonio's police chief about repeat offenders back on the streets. Judge Sakai says both county and city leaders need to come to a real solution.
We're going to look at the criminal justice system at the various parts. We want to look at arrest, we want to look at booking, we want to look at magistrating, we want to see what the bond process is.
Sakai says he's also asked district court judges to conduct a study on the bond process. He plans to look into the DA's work. However, a timeline for when and how long all those things will take was not given. Before we go to break, a dramatic rescue on the road in Georgia after a teen driver got trapped beneath his car.
As ABC's Rhiannon Alley shows us, people nearby were willing to jump in and save his life.
You and me, he can't breathe. You and me are going to lift this car up right now. Yes, help.
New video shows the moment a Georgia police officer and a group of bystanders lift a nearly 2-ton car to save a teenager's life. It happened near Atlanta around 11 p.m. Sergeant Michael Peterson spots a speeding car and follows it. Moments later, he sees the car overturned.
Please help us out. Please help us out. Yep, you're on out.
3 teenage passengers are able to crawl out of the upside-down vehicle, but one is stuck inside. The teens tell Sergeant Peterson the 19-year-old driver flew out of the sunroof and is now being crushed beneath the car, struggling to breathe.
Can you breathe? You can't breathe.
Peterson instructs the teens to help him lift the car.
You and me, he can't breathe. You and me are going to lift this car up right now. Yes, help.
With the help of some good Samaritans who stopped to help, they struggled to lift the 3,600-pound vehicle.
Come on, y'all. We got this. Come on, y'all.
Their teamwork paying off as they lift the car enough to free the driver.
He's out. Good job, y'all.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
8 minutes past the hour, 75 degrees.
After the break, a Hill Country corn maze is celebrating the fall season with an homage to the Queen of Country. Our Mia Montgomery went to Fredericksburg to check it out, and we're going to hear from her next.
Can't wait. Outside with Live Cam, thanks for waking up with us here on KSAT 12 and GMSA as we take a live look at 410. Come on, son. Come on up. It's going to be a good day. We'll be right back.